I'm now joined by a very special panel of retailers, brand owners and market experts to really help give us their views and insights and experiences into the opportunities offered by China. And so we'll be discussing all of those key points and really picking up on the work that we've done in the work with UK trade and investment, and talking to retailers considering the opportunities in China, to hear their concerns and their questions and really frame the discussion over the next 30-35 minutes. And to help me then discuss those issues, it's my very great pleasure to introduce, on my far left, Hans Schmidt, who's the International Director of Supergroup, which is taking its brand Superdry right around the world. And then Sam Ubi on my left, who's the founder of Sam Ubi, which is a high-end British designer and designed and crafted jewellery business, which is selling internationally, but more importantly was one of the founder exhibitors at Pure Shanghai, who exhibited in October 2014, so welcome. And Nigel French on my right, who is chairman of Traub Europe and is a leading and I think you won't forgive me for saying a veteran retail consultant who has worked for over many years right around the world, helping retailers and brands, particularly with their international expansion. And then joining us via video conference in Shanghai, it's a very warm welcome to Hugo Hu, who is associate on the Consumer and Services division of Warburg Pincus in China. There's a huge excitement about what is soon to become, if it isn't already, the world's biggest economy, soon to overtake America. You know, some statistics would also suggest it has already, and the growth statistics across a whole range of measures are incredible, and yet you also, when you talk to people, they say, but hang on, the economy has been slowing for the last year, maybe longer than that, and the prospects in some cases are worrying people. So I'd be really interested as an opening question what your thoughts are on the macro picture, but maybe more specifically, what do you think the impact is on the opportunities and prospects for retailing in China?
Sure. I think, a couple of things. Overall, retailing is still growing at a faster pace than overall GDP. I think the consensus is the GDP will be growing at 7.5% for the next few years, and retailing in general is growing at slightly above 10%. So overall, retail is still growing, pretty healthy. But there are still quite a few things to notice here. I think, first of all, I think one of the biggest differences between China and US, or China and Europe in terms of retailing, is that e-commerce is a very big component here in China. Everybody heard the big story of Alibaba's IPO success. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but Alibaba a couple of weeks earlier has actually overtaken Walmart in terms of their market capitalization. So it's actually a bigger company than Walmart in the US. And if you look at Alibaba's share of China's total retail, it's actually incredible. If you look at the past 12 months, I think it's probably 7 to 8% of China's total overall retailing in terms of GMV, gross merchandise value. So e-commerce is definitely a very big part of retailing here in China. And the second thing that I noticed is that the performance among brands are very different. For example, if you go to the malls here in China, you will notice that Zara, Uniqlo, H&M, and probably CNA, they have become the anchor tenants of almost all of the malls. So, and if you look at the other end, you've got the traditional sportswear players such as Li Ning. They have been loss-making for the last 2 years, and the loss expanded from the first half last year to the first half of this year. So the performance between brands are very different as well. And the third thing that that is interesting is that the the number of shopping malls in China is growing quite crazily. I think in the next 5 years, people were saying that there will 1,500 malls, new malls in China. And what that means is you have cities like, for example, Shenyang, which is northeast of China, in Chengdu, which is southwest of China. In those cities, there's an oversupply of shopping malls. And what that means is that will dilute the performance of your brand. But also, there are cities where there's still a lack of shopping malls. And the performance of shopping malls are very different as well. For example, Joy City, that is probably one of the best performing shopping malls here in Beijing. Zara sales every year is actually more than renminbi 100 million, I think. So that is quite incredible. So, you know, when you look at China, when you look at China's overall retail, I think overall retail is growing at more than 10%. But the performance among brands, the performance, you know, in different shopping malls, and the performance between online and offline is just very different. So it's very hard to generalize here.
Yes. Just picking up on your point about the large number of shopping malls being planned, I mean, roughly what, in your view, would the developers expect the percentage of tenants to be from outside of China? I mean, just in roughly, I mean, is that what's driving the growth? Is the need to have a balance between domestic brands and international brands? I mean, you mentioned Zara and H&M seen as anchors in most malls.
Yeah, I think, you know, there are a growing number of brands that are entering China right now. And as these malls actually grow, they will notice the importance of some of these brands. So of course, yes, I agree with you. I think these shopping mall owners and these shopping mall operators are introducing more international brands.